Hello YouTube, Liverpool fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man Sai. Our captain for today, Trent Alexander-Arnold, is turning into a multi-faceted, talented, generational player. Our very own Captain Tsubasa. Now Captain Tsubasa, very popular in Japan, very old school. There's actually a newer anime called Blue Lock, which is really interesting. I'm going to tell you about the concept of Blue Lock very shortly, which is more of a modern day take on football anime. It's about Japan's search to create and manufacture the ultimate striker to lead the Japan national team to World Cup glory. One day maybe. But they don't need no cartoon striker. I'm right here. And looky, I picked up these awesome Liverpool badges. Crest badges. Pretty cool, right? Live bird. Gold and red is pretty nice, right? I actually had that red and gold top Champions League exclusive after we won the Champions League in 2005. Xabi Alonso on the back. I think someone nicked it. Let's unveil. You're seeing them before me. I haven't actually looked yet. I can see them in the screen looking back in the mirror. Whoa, that's... Ooh la la. Shiny. Look at that one. That is a proper Pika Pika. If you like this video, please do remember to hit the like button. Also comment below on feedback and your thoughts on what other videos you'd like to see me make. All your likes and interaction actually help me beat the algorithm and get this video shown to people, and it'd be super appreciated. I've actually made a Liverpool channel in my Discord forum below. Feel free to join. I'm always on there and happy to chat anything Liverpool related. Links in the description below. Add me on Twitter for the latest updates and also my personal Instagram. Some family pictures and life in Japan with Miyazaki man. Hope to chat to you soon. Okay, back to the topic for today. Yes, so Jurgen Klopp has manufactured a system that absolutely abuses any team that sits back, and we saw that Aston Villa employed a half-court press when the defenders in Liverpool had the ball. We're talking about Matip, Gomez, Trent and Robertson. Aston Villa didn't push them. They held a high line but didn't push. Very interesting tactics. Conjured up by the one and only Good Evening. I love Unai Emery, funny guy, funny lad. So I'm going to talk about the role that I saw Trent perform on the day and why it may or may not work in certain situations, but on this occasion he is like a quarterback. In the NFL he is absolutely spraying the ball from a central position. He was an inverted centre back. Is this a final form of Trent Alexander-Arnold? Covers all the weaknesses? Who knows? We'll have to see. So what you actually saw in off the ball moments was Trent and Matip slowly walk to switch positions, and what this allowed the defensive line to do when they're pinging along the back waiting for openings is get Trent the ball in the central position to get his head up and spray it. He has the whole pitch to view. And whereas in the right back position or in an inverted defensive midfield position, kind of in the right half space in the defensive line, he can either do a curved ball around the outside for Salah to run onto down the wing, running down the wing, or he's got that crossfield ball into Lucho Diaz or on rushing Robertson or anyone in that left wing space as well. But that's the right back inversion into defensive midfield position. Actually what Klopp did was transition him slowly into the central defensive position, and because Aston Villa weren't pressing from the front, he was under no pressure, he had time to get his head up, wait for the correct runs. And when you have Salah and Nunez and Diaz running full pelt as soon as the ball is played, any opposition is going to find it hard to deal with because they are direct, they are fast. The opposition have got to consider whether they play an offside trap, an offside line, press the space to congest it in there. There's no such thing as creating a trap in that midfield area because it's bypassing the midfield. You've got an absolute spectacular on the penny long ball playing maestro who could ping it from back to front. And when you look at these long passes, the only one that comes to mind, I mean, you had Mihailovic, you had Pirlo, you had many players who could ping a ball, Juninho Pernambucano. But long range, I mean super long range, kicking the ball that hard from distance, really Alonso and Trent are the only ones that come to mind over that distance. And possibly Beckham to some extent when he was playing for Milan as well. He was quite deep and able to spray the ball. He could kick the ball really hard too. Respect to Beckham. Marketing machine. Posh and Bex. Watch that Ali G show of them on that charity special. Really funny. Respecta. Ali G would be so cancelled nowadays. How can he get away with all that stuff he said? Borat. Oh, Bruno, my days. But yeah, the fact that you can invert Trent into that centre-back position, which means he can actually drop into the centre-back line to create a free, prevents that counter-attacking aspect, and especially when you have Konate instead of Matip, who is pacey and can fill that kind of right space on the right-hand side and cover that channel with speed, physical presence as well. What an idea. it takes the pressure off of Trent, and it works much better than putting him into the defensive midfield role, because on the defensive midfield role he's expected to pivot on the spot, turn, be aware of all the surroundings around him, whereas in the centre back spot he's always got the vision in front of him, the game in front of him. Now here leads on to a very interesting thing that a lot of players do and a lot of fans question why they do it. So even under pressure, sometimes the centre back will ping the ball into the number 6, whether it's McAllister, whether it's Endo, whoever's there, Jorginho, other players, other teams, doesn't matter, and the ball pops straight back to the centre back. Why do it? Is it a wasted pass? Is it to get an extra touch on the ball? Is it to increase the passing metrics and statistics? No. What it actually does, right, is as soon as you play the ball, a centre back plays the ball into a defensive midfield player or a defensive midfield pivot who receives the ball. It's a new phase of play where the opposition will close him down, they'll press, it's their trigger to press and commit to him. But that's not the important part. The actual important part is when that ball gets played back to, let's say, Trent or Van Dijk in the centre-back position, that is Liverpool's trigger for the forwards or particular player to make the run. If they are looking and actively visualising the play the ball to McAllister, as soon as that ball's coming to McAllister and before it comes back, that is the signal for Lucho Diaz, for Nunez, for Gakpo, for Jota, for Salah, for anyone. As soon as the ball's coming back to Trent, based on his body shape, he can ping it first time into that spot with backspin as well. The ball's coming back into the centre back, into your strong foot, ping it into the danger area zone that you intended to, with your striker and winger rushing full pelt. That ball playing 1-2, receiving it back, is actually crucial for the timing of the run to break the offside trap and as the trigger to bypass the whole midfield and get you in and behind. That is actually worked on in training, which is why games like Pro Evolution Soccer, which penalise you passing back to the player that passed you the ball in the first place, that's completely incorrect. It's a tactical decision and instigates the trigger for everyone to run and do your thing. Sometimes you just ping it back and you play it long again, and Liverpool's very good at this system whereby they probe and wait for an opening. You don't need to move the ball and progress the ball all the time. The best defense is keeping the ball. The opposition can't hurt you while you have the ball in most cases. So by keeping the ball and waiting for your chance, you can increase the percentages of that particular probing attack, creating a goal scoring chance by waiting for the key opportunity when your player has decided now is the time to play it, because all the dominoes are in line and in effect. And not just the first phase, the second phase as well. It's not just the person who receives the ball, it's the person who might be at the back post who's making an off the ball run. Everyone needs to be in place to maximise the chance to get the goal or goal scoring opportunity or a big turnover event such as a corner or free kick, etc. Because if you play the low percentage chance and it turns over, you invite pressure on yourselves. And the opposition can only score when they've got the ball. So it all makes sense. Hopefully that's giving you a little bit of insight as to why this centre-back inversion worked quite well for the Aston Villa game. Mainly because they didn't press all the way into our own half. They kind of waited for us to engage near the halfway line, which is why we played Trent in the quarterback role, to bypass their particular tactical acumen in that phase of play, because that's probably what Unai Emery, good evening, set up. Now, will this system work for every single matchup? I highly doubt it, because there's a lot of cases where teams press from the front similar to Liverpool and they've set the trap for the centre backs or the full backs, which means that as the team move forward as a unit and they have your striker and support striker or wingers pressing the back line, it means Trent once again loses the time to pick out the pass, which means you can transition it back and forth across the back line as well and look for those probing balls into the midfield half spaces or beyond the first press. But then it's a different role than that quarterback role that he played against Aston Villa, right? But Trent has all of it in his locker. He's got the pass, he's got the vision, he's got the tactical awareness, and it hides some of his limitations in terms of the ball over the top and concentration levels when the ball might turn over. So it could still be effective, but not as effective, not with as much time on the ball, which is why you'd still expect him to appear in all of those half spaces in terms of the right back slot, progressing past the first line of defense into that kind of wing back role, because when he's got the ball out there as well, he still has a lot of time, because the winger doesn't always directly press it. Depends whether they congest it into the middle or whether they want you to go through the middle, in which case they press on the outside wide and put you in the trap into the middle. He will find time and space in the right back slot, bombing forward, in the wing back slot, inverted into the defensive midfield slot, but also inverted into the centre back slot. So now he's got that square. I call this a square of dominance, because he will always be able to find a gap in the opposition system to get his head up and to ping the ball and to play make from there. But the beautiful thing about this Liverpool team is it's not so reliant on Trent anymore, because Thiago, Szoboszlai, McAllister, even Endo, Gakpo from the front, Salah in that playmaking half right space as well. There's so much quality in the offensive transition, and we haven't even mentioned Gravenberch. We haven't even seen Gravenberch yet. He has the ability to break the lines with a run as a szoboszlai, as this Gakpo. And then the directness and off-the-ball running of Salah and Jota and Nunes, wowzers, salivating at the prospect of all of this offensive capability. It means the onus isn't on Trent to create from the back as much as it was previously that season, where Robbo and Trent were the ultimate attacking outlet, the ultimate assist machine creators. We are now so multifaceted, and I'll come on to why this is one of the most versatile, multifaceted, functional midfields I've ever seen in a Liverpool team in another video. But I'm very, very optimistic for the season because of the squad that Klopp has built. One thing I want to mention as well is it made perfect sense to me that this wasn't a game for Endo to play, because Endo didn't need to play the game. And the reason behind that was, when you put a central midfield destroyer who hounds the opposition, Miyazaki, the playmaker, the number 10, the support striker, the shadow striker, the person who roams in that zone in and around in front of your defence, trying to create something, trying to enter those half spaces, your kind of Kaká, your Fabrizio Mikoli, your Cassano, your Totti, anyone who kind of roams in that space there, then Endo and defensive midfield fulcrum is very important, an anchorman. But Aston Villa don't have that. With the loss of Buendia, what they try to do is get it to McGinn or get it to Cash or someone who, similar to Trent's curved ball, is to break the lines with a ball that releases Bailly, Diaby, Ollie Watkins direct running as well. They want to bypass all of that congestion in midfield and release the fast runner, play on the break, and look for those chances where you can exploit the gaps in between the centre-back and the full-back. Douglas Luiz and Kamara are actually a solid 2 unit in the middle, and Douglas Luiz is actually a bit of a baller as well. Having been brought up in the Manchester City Academy, like Lavia, he's a bit of a baller from that deep lying position. He fancies himself on the ball and his playmaking abilities, and Emi Martinez at the back as well, goalkeeper, fancies his distribution as well. So they're always looking for that long diagonal ball, that curving arced ball to put on Diaby, Watkins, a runner, in and behind, because of the loss of Emi Buendia. And that means there is no dedicated central threat who's occupied in that central position in front of our defence to playmake from that position. There's no player there, which is why you don't need Endo to destroy in there, and you're very comfortable having Trent roaming in and out of that position from centre back to distribute and playmake the ball. We held all the possession, we had all the possession, we dominated the game. No need for Endo in that position. There'll be games where we're really under the cosh and we need his calm composure, winning the ball, defensive discipline. So all this talk that Endo was dropped, what's happening? Our number 6 was dropped for a home game. Absolute nonsense. We have a squad fit for purpose, and Klopp chooses the personnel to fulfill his strategy for a particular game. And you tell me that that strategy was not perfection. Absolutely outstanding masterclass from Jurgen Klopp. And especially in this system that he's designed, Curtis Jones is an absolute baller. His ball retention skills, his press resistance, he's outstanding. He doesn't always distribute it super quickly. He doesn't do the one-touch stuff all the time, but he's a safe pair of legs to progress the Liverpool ball pressure up the field, because every time you play the ball to him, whether it's on the left wing, in the left 8 slot, even defensive midfield slot, he keeps the ball ticking, keeps the ball moving. He always looks for the guaranteed pass as well. And he's actually a good line breaker. If you do manage to break the lines and go into goal, he actually presses well into his attacking third and becomes the last man, the kind of last Gerrard, Lampard, late ball arrival midfielder. But it's not predominantly his role. So yeah, he's a ball transitioner, very much in the Wijnaldum role, and he does it very efficiently. And he's homegrown, cancelled the quote as well. Curtis Jones, a very vital part of this midfield trio, this cog, the plan. Szoboszlai, we know about him already. Absolute quality, absolute menace. What a goal, left-footed. You call it a Thunderkunt? Was it a Thunderkunt? Left-footed, bang into the side net, composure, technique. I love his little celebration as well. Cheeky Domnai, cheeky Szoboszlai, way too sexy. McAllister, quietly efficient. Amazing news, he's going to play his brother in the Europa League. See you soon, brother. And Nunes, absolutely causing havoc with his runs. He can start from deepest position, but over long distance, he'll get the ball and outrun everyone. Absolute menace. Finishing, sure, unlucky, hit the post, right? But created a goal, Matty Cash own goal. Salah, great in position, positional awareness as well, and transitioning the play as well. His playmaking skills, top notch. A little cute weighted ball, little touch into Nunes' path to hit. Salah, absolute important, vital peg in this system. Measured in pre-season. performing for the rest of the season. He's not going to Saudi Arabia. Price prohibitive. And the way Lucho Diaz runs, man, what a nightmare for defender. He's always on his toes, front-footed, jinking side to side, absolute menace, and the firepower that we have from the bench. And that midfield overhaul, that's a true midfield overhaul, right? Every single starting player and the first rotational subs, except from Elliott and Curtis Jones. There's so many options there in midfield, and I'm so happy about it. And I'm going to do a video as well about this multifaceted midfield and why it is Klopp's new modus operandum, because every player can play every single phase of the midfield role, whether it's offensive transition, defensive transition, offensive discipline, defensive discipline, off the ball running, breaking lines, congestion setting traps, ball playing ability, ball winning ability, mentality, ruthless aggression, stamina and desire to win. It's all there and it's all beautiful to see. And even a game such as Chelsea, where you have ballers like Enzo Fernandez kind of dictating the play and having the skills to individually break the lines, that midfield three is responsible for us finally dominating some midfield games. And what a sight to see. So many times we're like, okay, we give up the midfield, we have hound dogs chasing them around, we hope they can break up the play and give it to our front three. We can now win the midfield battle, and what a joy to see, because now it gives Klopp all the tactical options to set the game out to ensure the 3 points at the end of the day. It's not about useless statistics and useless metrics. It's about creating a system to ensure you have the best chance to convert goal scoring opportunities to win the 3 points, which will propel you up the league and put you in a good position and pressurize opposition, and we'll see who ends up in the right place at the end of the day. I'm aware the video is going on a bit. I didn't intend to do ratings, but let's do some cheeky ratings right now. So Alisson, 8. Flawless, amazing, didn't have much to do, good distribution, was alert to keep out Cash's header, very good. Robertson, defensively disciplined, got a lot of the ball, transitioned the ball well, solid, decent, 7. Matip, very good, always knew Matip could do it, has the quality inside. Everyone has a drop off in form. Last season we didn't perform, we didn't protect him as well. Klopp said the team needs to protect the ball coming into Ollie Watkins, for example, running against Matip. The team did that. Matip performed admirably. 7, solid. Gomez received a lot of the ball, playmaking from. I'm really surprised by Gomez's playmaking ability, actually. That whipped cross last season into Jota from the right-hand side. I didn't know he had that in his locker when he first came from Charlton, but he does have that in his locker. And he's got the ball distribution, and he's got the techers on the back to move the ball side to side. It's very, very good to see his confidence coming back in. One slip where his footing wasn't in the right position to receive it, tried to touch it with the outside of the foot and slipped. Could have been costly, but nothing came to it, no need to mention it. Solid 8, great performance from Gomez. What on earth was Duran doing squaring up to Gomez? Duran running down the wing, left footed over the bar. We hear you sing. Who is Duran? Duran! This is actually a coin bank. Giant brown Unchichi. So for that moment, squaring up to our lovely Gomez, gets the cursed dehydrated Unkotan. Trent spraying the ball around masterfully, absolutely beautiful performance. Some of his balls were delicious, oh my! Especially that crossfield cutting in between two defenders. Wow, what a sight to see. I would have given him the golden tushy tush. However, his game was a little bit too easy today because he's under no pressure. So this one goes to our man Szoboszlai. I mean, Trent, I'm giving him 8 anyway, but Szoboszlai, what a player, what a man. Left footed into the side of net, thing of beauty. They had a discussion around offside. Was it Salah interfering with play by cutting Martinez's vision? Absolute BS, he was never getting that. That was funded into the right hand side of the net, left footed, weak foot. What weak foot? It's just a slightly less incredible foot, right? Golden man of the match, sexy Szoboszlai. McAllister, neat, tidy, clean, in the 6th position, because obviously we had most of the ball, right? And we just wanted to transition the ball quickly. Solid 7. Curtis Jones, give him a 7 as well, very nicely played. Nunez running up front, causing havoc, could have finished his chance, unlucky. Absolute nuisance, absolute pest, confident, like it, cheeky grin, always holding one of those mates, right? I'll give him an 8 as well, my goodness, those runnings is fun to see, and you're always excited, your eyes always light up when Nunez gets the ball, because you don't know what's going to happen. If you don't know and he don't know, opposition don't know. Just sit back and watch for the fireworks, baby. Salah, always a threat, always an outlet, you always expect something to happen when Salah's on the ball. He played quite well as well, give him a solid 8, and Lucho Diaz causing havoc, absolute menace as usual. He's definitely a flair player, his passing sometimes on point, sometimes a bit wonky, doesn't matter. He's exciting to see, love Lucho. Give him a 7. Fair scores all around, but Jurgen Klopp for the tactical innovation of Trent transitioning to centre-back role. He's got the brains, Klopp, and you can tell he's going for the season. He's really gunning for it. We've got 2 fixtures out of the way. Newcastle away, Chelsea away. 10 points after 4 games. Look at Chelsea and look at Manchester United. Wowzers. Very, very happy with that, boys. You'll never walk alone. I'm uploading loads of personal pics to Instagram. Join me on Instagram as well. If you want to see some more personal pictures and fun pictures on life in Japan with the Miyazaki man. Also Twitter as well. Add me on Twitter. Getting more active these days. I didn't know much about Twitter, but it's actually quite fun, isn't it? So until next time, guys, enjoy the international break. What was Koeman doing? Gravenberch was only in the under-21 squad. He wants to settle in Liverpool. He's just moved. Life-changing decision. Koeman, do one, man. And he left the national team, ditched him to go to Barcelona. Talk about double standards. Until next time, guys. Miyazaki man, Ichiban. Have a good one. Peace. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Liverpool-related content from the Liverpool fan in Japan, the Miyazaki man Sai.